Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right, working hard, setting goals, staying focused, yet somehow life just doesn't seem to move in the direction you want? What if I told you that the missing piece isn't outside of you, but within? The truth is, your future isn't something you chase, it's something you create, moment by moment, through the energy you hold and the story you tell yourself. Today I want to invite you to step into something powerful, the idea that your imagination, your assumptions, and your inner state are not just passive thoughts. They are the architects of your reality. This isn't about forcing the world to change. It's about shifting your energy so that the world responds to you differently. This is the art of conscious creation. This is how you align with the life that's already waiting for you. But let's explore how to do that, how to shift your energy and manifest your future. Imagination creates reality. Let's begin with one of the most powerful and life-changing truths you will ever hear. What you imagine, what you truly accept in the theater of your mind, becomes the world you live in. Now, this may sound simple, even poetic, but it's far more than just a nice idea. It's a principle, a law, and once you understand how to use it, everything in your life begins to shift. We tend to believe that reality is something fixed, something we must respond to, adapt to, or fight against. But here's a new perspective. Reality is responsive, not rigid. It mirrors the energy we carry and the images we consistently hold inside. Imagination isn't just a playground, it's the blueprint room. Every desire you've ever had, every goal, every dream, it begins and ends in your imagination. That's the true creative space. That's where you plant the seeds of your future. Think about it like this. Before a house is built, it exists as an idea, a sketch, a mental picture. Before a song is sung, it's felt in the heart. Before a great invention changes the world, someone imagined it, long before it ever existed. Now ask yourself, what are you building in your mind right now? Because the pictures you entertain, the stories you replay, and the assumptions you hold, whether positive or negative, are forming the structure of your future. Here's the key. Imagination fused with belief is what brings those inner pictures to life. It's not just about closing your eyes and wishing. It's about feeling your way into the version of you who already has what you want. You've got to move from I hope to I am, from maybe someday to it is done. Let's make this real. Imagine a person who constantly sees themselves as unlucky. They don't get the job. They always run into trouble. They repeat to themselves, nothing ever works out for me. Over time, their world begins to reflect that very expectation. It's not just coincidence. Their inner assumption is creating a filter. It affects how they see opportunities, how they act, and even how others respond to them. Now flip the script. Imagine someone who holds a deep, unshakable belief that life is working for them. Even when challenges arise, they imagine and expect a favorable outcome. They carry an inner image of success, peace, abundance, or love, whatever it is they desire. They begin to see doors open, people show up, things align. Why? Because they've shifted from reacting to reality to creating it from the inside out. Here's something powerful to remember. Your subconscious mind does not differentiate between what is real and what is imagined when it is felt vividly and consistently. If you feed it with images of success, it will begin to shape your habits, emotions, and decisions around that image, and eventually the outer world conforms. This is why daydreaming alone isn't enough. It has to be intentional, vivid, and emotionally charged. You just see it, you feel it. You live it in your mind as though it's happening now. Let's do a quick practice. Think of something you desire, something meaningful to you. Close your eyes for a moment and picture it. See the colors, the sounds, the atmosphere. Now ask yourself, what would it feel like if this were already true? Don't worry about how it will happen, just drop into the feeling. Feel the relief. Feel the gratitude. Feel the joy as if it's already yours. When you practice this daily, you're not pretending. You're preparing. You're aligning your energy with that reality so it has space to express itself through you. This is the art of conscious creation. But here's where most people get stuck. They try to use imagination once or twice and expect fireworks. They say it's not working and return to their old thoughts. But manifestation is about saturation, about soaking your consciousness in the new image until it becomes natural, effortless, automatic. It's like learning a new language. At first it feels foreign, but with repetition it becomes fluent. Imagination works the same way. You become fluent in a new version of yourself, and when that new identity is accepted within, life begins to echo it on the outside. Here's a simple phrase to remember. If I can see it clearly and feel it deeply, I can live it fully. So the next time you feel stuck, don't look at your current reality as the final say. Don't measure your future by your present conditions. Instead, go inward. Close your eyes and ask, what do I want to experience? Then paint that picture in your imagination with bold colors. Fill it with sound, emotion, texture. Make it real. And most importantly, return to it often. You're not escaping reality. You're rewriting it. Because imagination isn't fantasy. It's prophecy. Everything begins there. So let this be the moment you reclaim your creative power. Let this be the moment you stop waiting for life to change and start using the tool that has been with you since day one. Shift your energy inward. Feed your mind with new images. And watch how reality begins to move. Imagination creates reality. And your future is only one thought away. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Now that we've explored how imagination creates reality, let's take that truth one step deeper. It's not enough to simply visualize what you want. You must become the person who already has it. That means stepping into the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Let's break that down. Every desire you hold, whether it's for health, love, abundance, peace, success, has a certain energy, a certain emotional tone. There's a feeling attached to already having it. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you're saying, I choose to feel now, in this present moment, the way I would feel if my desire were already true. Not someday, not after it shows up. Now, why is that important? Because your feelings are like a tuning fork. They set the frequency of what you attract. They create a state of consciousness, and that state is what reality responds to. Here's a simple truth that can change your life. You don't manifest what you want. You manifest who you are. And who you are is shaped by the feelings you dwell in. Let's say you want financial freedom. That desire likely carries the feeling of ease, confidence, and abundance. Now, if you keep thinking about the lack of money, worrying about bills, and doubting whether it's possible, you're not aligned with your wish. You're aligned with its absence. But the moment you shift into the feeling of ease, the feeling of overflow, even if your bank account hasn't changed yet, you've entered a new state. And the world will begin to respond to that new state. It doesn't happen overnight, but like a thermostat being adjusted, your reality will begin to heat up or cool down to match your new setting. This is why it's so important to live from the desire, not just toward it. Here's what that looks like. Let's say you desire a loving relationship. Don't wait until someone shows up to feel lovable. Don't sit around hoping love will find you while feeling lonely and unworthy. Instead, step into the version of yourself who is already loved, chosen, and deeply connected. Ask yourself, how would I walk, talk, move, and show up if my desire were already fulfilled? What kind of energy would I carry? How would I treat myself? How would I treat others? That's the version of you that magnetizes what you want, not because you're begging the universe, but because you're embodying the result before it happens. And let's take a moment to feel it. Close your eyes for just a few seconds. Bring your desire to mind, something you care about deeply. Now ask yourself, if this were already done, how would I feel right now? Would you feel calm, joyful, empowered, relieved? Let that feeling rise in you. Don't force it, just invite it. Let it soak into your body. Breathe it in, smile with it, live in it. This is the state where manifestation happens. Because when you feel it real, you teach your subconscious that this is who you are now. And once the subconscious accepts it, it begins to shape everything in your world to match that belief. You'll start taking inspired actions without overthinking. You will feel less resistance, more clarity. People will show up, doors will open, coincidences will begin aligning in your favor, not because you chase them, but because you became the person who attracts them. Here's something powerful. Your feelings are not just reactions. They are instructions. When you feel as if something is already true, you're instructing your inner world to make it real. This doesn't mean pretending or denying your current reality. It means choosing where your energy goes. It means making your inner world more real to you than the temporary facts of your outer circumstances. You may look around and not see the evidence yet. That's okay. Your job isn't to worry about the how or the when. Your job is to hold the state, to live in the feeling, to keep your inner world saturated in the end result. This is the difference between hoping and knowing. Hope says, I wish it would happen someday. Knowing says, it's already done. I'm just aligning with it. And when you live from that knowing, day after day, moment after moment, you activate a shift. You stop trying to create from effort and start creating from alignment. This is a beautiful, freeing realization. You don't have to force anything. You just have to feel the result into being. You may wonder, what if I can't feel it right away? That's okay too. Like anything, it takes practice. Start small. Use your imagination to create short scenes, moments, that imply your wish has already been fulfilled. See yourself shaking someone's hand after getting that promotion. See yourself laughing on the couch with your partner. See yourself checking your phone and seeing the message you've been waiting for. And most importantly, feel it. It's the feeling that impresses the subconscious. It's the feeling that makes the image come alive. It's the feeling that reshapes your identity. You are not waiting for the future to bless you. You are becoming the future you. So let go of waiting, let go of needing, let go of trying. Instead, assume the feeling of peace. Assume the feeling of love. Assume the feeling of wealth, wellness, creativity. Whatever it is that calls to you. Assume it boldly. Assume it quietly. But assume it fully. Live from the end and watch the path rise to meet your feet. Because once you shift into that feeling, your reality can't help but shift around you. The wish is not outside of you. It's within you. Now, feel it real and let life catch up. Your present state determines your future. Let's talk about the one thing most people overlook when it comes to manifesting their desires, your state of being right here, right now. So many of us are focused on changing the world around us. We try to rearrange the people, the circumstances, the opportunities. But here's the truth. The outer world is a reflection of your inner state. Not your thoughts alone, not just your words or actions, but your state, the combination of your beliefs, feelings, assumptions, and identity, what you embody moment by moment. In other words, the version of you that you are being right now is creating the version of life you will meet tomorrow. Let that sink in. You don't attract what you say you want. You attract what you're in harmony with. If your present state is one of doubt, lack, fear, or resistance, your future will echo that. But if your present state is one of certainty, peace, joy, and abundance, even before anything changes, you've already set the stage for transformation. Think of your state as your personal frequency, like a radio. You can't tune in to 98.5 FM and expect to hear what's playing on 101.7.7. It doesn't matter how much you want to hear that song, you wouldn't receive it unless you match the signal. Reality works the same way. Your current emotional and energetic state is tuning your life experience. Now, here's the best part. You have full control over your state. You may not control everything that happens outside of you, but you can always shift what's happening within you. And when you shift your state, you shift what you begin to notice, attract, and experience. Let me give you an example. Let's say someone wants to be confident. They're tired of second-guessing themselves and shrinking around others. So they wait. They wait for circumstances to change. They wait for people to treat them differently. They wait for some magical moment when they'll suddenly feel confident. But it never comes. Why? Because they haven't changed their state. Confidence is not something that arrives from the outside. It's a decision you make now to begin embodying that energy before the evidence shows up. Once you adopt the inner posture of confidence, walking differently, speaking differently, holding yourself differently, the world starts treating you accordingly. The future reflects the state you hold, not the words you speak when you're hoping something will change. And the same applies to abundance, to love, to healing, to success. Whatever it is you seek, ask yourself, what state of being does that version of me live in? Then begin living in that state now. When you shift your state, even subtly, you trigger something powerful. Your decisions change. Your reactions change. Your energy changes, and the world responds in kind. You begin to notice opportunities that were always there, but hidden from the version of you who wasn't ready to see them. You take actions that feel natural instead of forced. You radiate something different, and people feel it. But here's the key. You must hold the state even before your reality confirms it. Most people say, I'll feel abundant once I have more money. But true transformation says, I'll feel abundant now and let money be drawn to that energy. It's not about pretending, it's about choosing to show up differently. It's about saying, this is who I am now, even if nothing around you has changed yet, because here's the secret. The outer world is slow. It takes time to catch up. But your inner world can shift instantly. And the moment you shift your inner world, your dominant state, you've already altered your timeline. It's like stepping into a different future version of yourself and pulling that reality toward you. Now you might be wondering, how do I shift my state? Great question. Let me offer a few ways. Awareness. First, become aware of the state you're in. Ask yourself throughout the day, how am I being right now? Am I anxious, grateful, focused, defeated, powerful? Name it, bring it into the light. This is next, decide on the state you want to shift into. Pick one that aligns with your desired future. Maybe it's peace, maybe it's boldness, maybe it's joy. Feel into that energy. What does it feel like in your body? What kind of thoughts does that state carry? Embodiment. Then begin to act from that state. Not forcefully, naturally. How would that version of you move? Speak, think, dress, create, interact? Embody the new state through small daily habits and choices. A repetition. This is where it locks in. You don't need perfection, you need consistency. The more you return to that state, the more it becomes your new home. And from that home, your future is built. Your state is your foundation. If you want to build a new future, you must lay a new foundation inside yourself. Not just once, but over and over again, until it becomes natural. One day you'll look around and realize, wow, my life changed. But what really happened is that you changed first. This is the heart of real manifestation. Not chasing, not striving, not waiting, but choosing right now to live in a state that reflects your future, not your past. Your present state is a magnet, a mirror, a message to the universe. And the question is not, what do I want? The question is, who am I being now? Because who you are being is who you are becoming. So pause, take a breath, go within. Choose your state on purpose with power, and then walk forward, not as someone waiting to receive, but as someone who's already become. That's how you shift your future, by owning your state in the now. Consciousness is the only reality. What if I told you that everything you see, experience, and interact with is not happening to you, but through you? That the world outside of you is not separate from your inner world, but a direct reflection of it. That's the essence of this truth. Consciousness is the only reality. Your consciousness, your awareness of being, is the core of your experience. It's not your circumstances, not your past, not even your thoughts alone. It's the state of awareness you live in day after day that creates the conditions of your life. It might sound abstract, but it's actually deeply practical. You're not just a person reacting to life, you are life expressing itself through your state of being. Every time you say, I am, you're defining your reality. I am tired. I am broken. I am unlucky. Each of those phrases isn't just a statement, they're a creation. Your consciousness accepts that identity and begins molding your outer world to match. But here's the empowering part. When you change your consciousness, when you change what you are aware of being, you change the entire script. So if you shift to, I am abundant, I am healthy, I am deeply loved, even before any evidence appears, your world begins the process of rearranging. Why? Because your reality follows your awareness. Your environment, your experiences, and even the people around you respond to the vibration of your dominant state of consciousness. Let's say you're constantly focused on lack, you become aware of what you don't have, that becomes your reality. But if you shift your focus to fullness, to gratitude, to having enough now, your experience begins to shift. The world somehow gives you more to be grateful for. It's not magic, it's resonance. You're always radiating a message, consciously or unconsciously, and life simply mirrors it back. Now, here's something to remember. You don't need to force change outside. You only need to elevate your awareness. Want a better relationship? Become conscious of being lovable, worthy, and connected. Want financial freedom? Become conscious of being supported, valuable, and abundant. Don't wait for the mirror to smile first. You smile, and the reflection follows. Thus the power of understanding that consciousness is the only reality. Everything begins within you. Everything starts from the inner image you hold and the identity you claim. So the next time you feel stuck, don't ask, how do I change this situation? Ask, what am I being conscious of right now? And is it aligned with the life I desire? If not, shift inward. Change the story. Enter a new state of being and stay there. Because when you do, the world won't have a choice. It must respond. You are not just in the world. You are the awareness shaping it. And when you take full ownership of your consciousness, you take full ownership of your reality. Persist in the assumption. So far, we've explored the power of imagination, the importance of feeling your wish fulfilled, the role your present state plays in shaping your future, and the deeper truth that consciousness itself is the only reality. But there's one final key that ties it all together. That key is this: persistence. More specifically, persisting in the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled. This is where many people get stuck. They understand the concept, they visualize, they feel, they even shift their states. But then nothing seems to happen right away. Doubt creeps in. They start checking the outside world, looking for signs. And when those signs don't appear fast enough, they fall back into their old state, the one aligned with not having what they desire. And that right there is the moment the manifestation stalls. Not because it wasn't working, but because they didn't persist in the assumption. Persistence is not about trying harder. It's not about forcing things to happen. It's about remaining faithful to your inner reality, regardless of what the outer world looks like. Here's the truth. Your assumption creates your experience, but it must be sustained long enough, consistently enough, for your outer world to catch up. Let's use a simple metaphor. Imagine planting a seed in the soil. You water it, you give it sunlight, but after a few days, you don't see anything, so you dig it up to check if it's working. You just disrupted the process. You didn't trust the unseen. That's what happens when you doubt your assumption, when you abandon the state before the results arrive. You're digging up your own seed. But if you persist, if you remain loyal to your vision, if you continue to feel the wish fulfilled, if you stay in the new state even when nothing seems to be changing, that's when the roots begin to grow, and eventually the bloom comes. Manifestation is not about quick results. It's about inner stability. The more you return to the assumption of your desire fulfilled, the more natural it becomes, the more effortless it feels, the more your subconscious accepts it as truth. And once your subconscious accepts something as true, reality has no choice but to rearrange. So how do you persist in the assumption? Let's break it down. Live in the end again and again. No matter what's going on around you, keep returning to the version of you that already has what you want. If you desire love, feel loved now. If you desire abundance, feel abundant now. If you desire health, feel whole now. Do this in your imagination, in your body, in your emotions. Create inner scenes that imply the result has already occurred. And don't just visit those scenes once, revisit them often, morning, night, in moments of quiet, in moments of doubt. Let that reality become more familiar than the one you see around you, detached from the how and when. One of the biggest blocks to persistence is impatience. We want to know exactly how things will happen. We want timelines, guarantees, proof. But real creation Doesn't work like that. Your job is not to force the outcome. Your job is to embody the state and trust the process. Let life figure out the details. Stay out of the mechanics. The how is not your domain. The when is not your concern. All that matters is your state, and the state is fully within your control. Ignore the 3D when necessary. The current conditions around you may not reflect your desire. That's okay. The outer world is just a reflection of past states. It has a delay. So when it shows you something that contradicts your assumption, don't panic, don't waver, don't let fear pull you back into the old version of yourself. Hold your assumption like it's already fact, because internally it is. Train yourself to respond to the world from your new state, not to it. That's true persistence. Affirm gently, naturally, repeatedly. Affirmations aren't magic words, but when spoken from the right state, they reinforce your new identity. Say things like, "It's already mine. Everything is unfolding perfectly. I'm already living the life I envisioned. I trust the unseen to deliver the seen." Say them from the heart, not out of desperation, but out of inner knowing. Let them become part of your natural self-talk. You're not trying to convince the world. You're reminding your subconscious of what's already true. Celebrate in advance. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools for persistence. But here's the trick. Don't just be grateful for what's already visible. Be grateful for what's coming. Be grateful for what's already true in the unseen. Feel thankful for the relationship, the success, the peace, as if it were already in your life. That thankfulness keeps you anchored in the state of having. It strengthens your belief. It makes the assumption realer than what your senses report. And remember, this isn't about pretending. It's about shifting your inner world so deeply that it becomes your dominant reality. Persistence isn't about effort. It's about faith. It's about holding to your vision when everything around you says otherwise. It's about knowing that your inner world must express itself outwardly. If you remain consistent, so even when it's quiet, even when there's no sign, even when the old doubts try to creep back in, stand firm in your new identity. Keep saying yes to the version of you that's already free, already whole, already living the life you desire. Because in the end, the world always conforms to your assumption, if you persist long enough to let it. This is not wishful thinking. It's inner mastery. You are not waiting on the universe. The universe is waiting on your consistency.